His customer service is so big for me. Like
Right.
it's a small town. There's not a lot of customers. So the ones that you do have, you cherish them. And they're people that you see at church and you see at school. Like you see them around and you want them to be like proud of what you did. And
Welcome to another episode of Small Town Grit. I'm your host, Corey Haubs, and we got special guest Courtney Owens, owner of Yellow Daisy Career Customizations.
Yes.
You want me to do that one over again?
Nah, you're
Yellow
fine.
Daisy Customizations.
It's a really long word. And, when I made my email address,
Yeah.
I should have just went with Yellow Daisy.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I went Yellow Daisy Customizations. And even I can't spell it sometimes. I'm like, yeah, that was not my
That's like
smartest
spelling
move.
my last name. I'm like, I missed a letter in
You
there.
just shorten it to Haubs. It's
right.
just easier.
It's just a
yeah.
lot easier.
Yeah.
Man, so how did this journey start? You don't do this full time. This is kind of
I hope
okay.
someday.
We had that talk not too long ago.
I know,
right?
you asked me, you're like, so where are you taking this? And I was like, I don't know.
And it sounds like you maybe still don't know.
I'm going to take it where it leads me.
Yeah.
But so it started, so I graduated from high school in 2001. I went to Reese. I was St. Michael's before that. I actually graduated with Noah and Adam.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, another little business, yeah. So I graduated in 2001 from Reese, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do. I've always liked to be creative. My cousin and I used to do like craft sales growing up, like the little craft fairs and stuff. So it's kind of always been like creative. And then in high school, I actually wanted to do cosmetology, but got some bad advice from a guidance counselor who didn't encourage me to do the tech center. And I will definitely push it with my girls. So I didn't do that. So I went to college, didn't know what I wanted to do, but a family friend, he did graphic design. All right, cool. I can't draw. So what's really funny is I have an art degree. I can't draw. I will draw you stick people, but I can draw on the computer. It's different. So went to Delta, got my degree in graphic design, and then just wanted my bachelor's. So then I went on to SVSU, got my bachelor's in graphic design with a minor in art. Again, still can't draw, but I made it through. And then I worked for the Saginaw News while I was in college. And I started there. I applied to do ads because I was doing graphic design, and I didn't get that job. But they said, well, we have this opening in customer service. All right. I was working at McDonald's at the time, and this job was $1 more an hour. Okay, cool. I can answer phones. We'll do that. So I did that while I was in college. And then when I graduated, I did get into ad design for a couple of years at the Saginaw News. And they did some refiguring and things along the way, and ended up losing my job there. And at the time, I was pregnant with my oldest daughter. So I decided, I'll just stay home. That lasted 8 months. Like I need to be out with people. Like some people can be like stay-at-home moms and they love it. It wasn't for me. So I started working at a school for a little bit, and then landed where I'm at now, which is the Village of Reese. I'm a part-time clerk there. And so, like, we're a camping family, and we'd go to these little shops, and you see those, like, cool Michigan shirts and things. And I was always like, I'm thrifty. I'm like, those are too expensive. I could make those. I could make that. And I guess my husband just got really tired of hearing me say that because in July of 2019, he surprised me with a Cricut, so like the vinyl cutting machine. And from there, I just kind of played with it. Made shirts for friends, family, whatever. And then in September of 22, I was like, well, see if we can make some money with this. And it started, if you look back on like my early Facebook posts, it started as customized pillows, actually. Because I was like, what am I going to do? Everybody does shirts. I don't want to do shirts. Everybody does it. There's no market for it. So I came up with this idea, like, I don't even know what, some ideas just don't work. Customized pillows. This is what I was going to do. Okay. So did that for like September through December of 22. And January rolls around and like, well, maybe I'll just put some shirts out. I'll run like a little sale, like weekend sale, see what happens. And it went crazy. Like, okay, well, apparently I thought nobody wanted shirts, but they do. So then I kind of just branched into shirts and kind of went from there. It's more of like the creative outlet because for work, I'm a clerk. I do like accounting and I write checks and things like that. This was the creative outlet that I needed. I just needed something. And it just started as like a little hobby, creative, and then just kind of grew from there.
Yeah. Thank you to our sponsors. IRD Homes, Mid-Michigan's top contractor, bringing new builds and renovations to life. Timber Oaks. Timber Oaks offers customized lawn and landscape solutions and is a premier Mid-Michigan lawn care company. Link Excavation, your Mid-Michigan excavating experts serving Bay, Tuscola, Saginaw, Huron, and Genesee counties. No, it's amazing. Especially when you're going from doing vinyl shirt, like you did vinyl, like
I started with
press.
vinyl, yeah, with the heat press, and I look back at some of my first shirts, or like friends and family have them, and I'm like, oh, can I redo that for you? Like, no, it's great. I'm like, but is it really? Like, no.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see like where I started and where I'm at now. Like, I hardly ever get my Cricut out anymore. I just don't because there's so many other products that have come out since then with technology. So yeah, it just kind of grew. I did my first, what I consider bulk order, was actually for the DDA back in September of 23. And I was like so excited. Like, oh my gosh, they want like, I think 40 shirts or something. Like that's so big. And now I've done way more than that. And then from there, it just kind of another person, hey, can you do like a lot of shirts? Sure. And then recently I had someone, well, I know you can do a lot, but how about 350? I was like, sure, we can make that happen. So it's been really cool. I didn't expect it to grow like that, but it's been really fun.
So when you get an order like 350, is that like you get your husband and like
he doesn't
Team Owens all come there, like the girls are all working?
My girls do. So my oldest will be 12 the end of this month, and she loves all things Sephora, and Sephora's expensive. She has very expensive taste. So I got this idea. So, okay, I have 350 shirts. She can't press them. I'm a little particular. Like, no, I want to do that. So she says, but Mom, I want to earn money. What can I do? I said, well, I don't know. Let me think about it. I thought, you can fold shirts. I have it's like a plastic little shirt folding thing. Like you can do that. So I thought, okay, I'll pay her an hourly wage. Yeah. No, that was dumb. So the first day I paid her an hourly wage and I was like, this isn't going to work. Yeah. So now I pay them per shirt because they watch TV while they do it. I'm like, okay, so you've done like 10 in an hour. All right. So yeah, the girls do get involved. My youngest likes to help too, but she's not. I kind of have to refold. She does. I let her help though. So yeah, my husband, not yet.
Not so much. That's not his.
I mean, I hope as it grows, maybe I can rope him into it. He just kind of stays away.
Yeah. So let's take us back to high school there. As in terms of, let's talk about, your graphic design and your art degree. Was there, we're kind of in a rural area here. Is there much outlet for graphic designers in this area?
No, didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So when you're 18 and they're like, hey, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? I have no idea. There are a handful of people that really do know what they want to do. I had no clue. And then when I started working for the newspaper, I was like, I really like office work, clerical work. This is fun. And so my mom said, well, why don't you get a business minor? That was going to be another year, and I had already done 5 years. Nah, I was done. Like, nah, just give me my degree, and I'm just going to be done. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't think about the fact that, no, there's not a lot of demand for it in this area at all. Yeah. It's better in, like, Grand Rapids, Detroit. And I think with web design, you can kind of do that anywhere, so it's becoming a little more... But no, not really in a small town. There's not a lot of demand for it.
Yeah, like I know a few people that have their graphic degree or art degree, whatever it might be, but they're not doing anything that they went to school for. They're working at the bank or and
so many people like they don't. I know somebody who has a criminal justice degree and he works at like a plastics plant, but he's worked his way up and he makes really good. He's done really well for himself, but not even close to criminal justice. Yeah. It's funny how you go to school for one thing and it's just. But I think having like my bachelor's degree got me the opportunities that I had. If I was just, you don't have to have, like, for my kids, we've always said, they don't have to do a 4-year degree. My generation, it was very pushed. Like, you will do 4 years. Yeah. And that's why after I did my associates at Delta, I was like, I feel like I need my bachelor's. Like, I'm not going to feel like I achieved until I get this. So I did. But with my kids, we've even said to them, you have to have something past high school. But it can be a trade. Like my oldest really loves to bake and she wants to go into culinary at Tech. That's great. Like you just need something past high school. But I don't think anymore it has to be a bachelor's degree always.
No, I agree with you. I think, but I do agree with you. You need some kind of, it's always nice to kind of diversify yourself into some kind of other educational or training.
Even whatever it might be. Yeah.
So what kind of struggles do you feel like you have, kind of, it's one thing to do something and have the family and then now you turn this into a business now. So you got money coming in, money going out, you got customer service and
I had to rethink a lot. So when I started, I was just using like our personal credit card. My accounts were all in my personal email. I'm like, whatever. And when I did the DDA shirts and they cut me a check in my business name, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to cash this. So then I kind of started thinking, all right, well, I need a bank account. Well, then they needed like the EINs. Okay, I guess I'll get one of those. And you need a DBA. Oh, what's that? Like I've had to learn. And so then in January, I kind of made everything separate financially because it was just getting so messy. And now that everything is so separate, it's nice. But the struggle for me is just the work-life balance. When I'm at work, my clerk position, my part-time out of the house job, when I leave there, I don't check my email. Like I'm not there. I'm done. But my business is different. It'll be like 9:00 at night and I'm checking emails just because my phone's there and the show's on a commercial. I'll just glance quick.
Right.
It's a bad habit to get into. But you're like, well, I don't want to wait till tomorrow to answer them. I'll just answer them right now. So it's finding that like, no, you're with your kids. Like you need to turn that off. And I don't think I've found that yet. And it's easy because my office is in the house. So I'm just going to go in there for like an hour. An hour turns into 3 and I'm like, all right, I need to put this away. So
no, it's hard to separate the two sometimes. At least for me, it's the struggles, but it's like, you just got to find that time and that separation and be like, this is my family time or.
I'm still working on that to be like, okay, if you don't respond to that email until tomorrow, it's going to be okay. Because customer service is so big for me. Like it's a small town. There's not a lot of customers. So the ones that you do have, you cherish them. And they're people that you see at church and you see at school. Like you see them around and you want them to be like proud of what you did. And I just but I want to get back to them. I don't want to make them wait. But with technology, we're so used to, well, they can answer me. It's a text message. They didn't answer within 10 minutes. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Well, it's okay if you wait till the next day. It doesn't mean I don't care. It just means you got to have that little bit of separation.
My problem, I usually forget, and I have 10 of them that I forgot about. I'm like,
I won't clear the text. So if like a text comes in, it'll still have like the number on the bottom. Because if I clear it, it's over. I'm not going to remember. There's not that little.
I went to the beach one day and we were with my cousin and my phone's there and she glanced over. Do you have like 240 unread messages? And I'm like, yeah, that's all right. She's like, she gave her like anxiety. And
I could not handle that. No. I mean, if it gets up to like 5, I'm like, all right, I got to check this. Yeah. But no, that I couldn't handle.
Any big fails early?
Oh gosh. I don't, not that I really know of. I know like I had a customer, like the first time a customer came to me and they were like, hey, I just picked up my shirt and there's a hole in it and your heart just drops. You're like, oh God, like I do my best to check them all, but it just happens. Like we're human. And they were really great about it. And it comes back to customer service. Like, no problem. I'll get you a new one, whatever. That's kind of been the hard thing for me. And I think I'm harder on myself. Like when I create the designs and I send them to a client and they're so happy. They're like, these are great. We love them. But do they really? Are they just saying that? Are they like always in the back of my head? Like, is this really the best? But everybody seems really happy. And so I think I'm my own worst critic. Even when it comes to like the design being straight or off center, sometimes I'll hold it up and show my husband and he's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, but do you think it's like a little, he's like, nobody is going to notice it. I'm like, maybe I should just remake it. Cause I always order extra, like a few extra shirts and a few extra like transfers. Cause I know I'm going to mess up or I'm like, oh, it's just not right. And he's like, just remake it. Cause you're not going to be happy.
So do you have like a small little inventory of like extra shirts, like a whole little closet of,
I have some for your businesses. Yeah. And they're just kind of tucked away. I'm like, yeah, those are the mess ups. And it might just be that the logo's like slightly slanted and nobody's going to notice it when you wear it.
Yeah.
But I'm just seeing so many of them roll through that I'm like, no,
I'll still wear them. Yeah.
I'll drop them off. Like, here's your reject pile. Just don't tell them who made these and you'll be fine.
Like, oh, don't look at that one.
Yeah. She knows it's bad.
So you're big campers?
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like camping for me has kind of evolved. Like I started out with like a tent, then we had a little pop-up, then we had a camper with no slides, then we had slides. And then my wife's like, we need a bigger camper. I'm like, no. So our last thing was we ended up buying a cottage here, but we don't go anywhere now. It's like we always go to the cottage. So that's the disadvantage of it.
Steve would like to park our camper somewhere, and I don't want to do that just because I'm like, no, I want to see all the different areas.
Right.
We don't really camp, we glamp. I mean, it's not, we tent camped, I think a couple times when I was a kid.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to pass on that. And our first camper, my in-laws were getting rid of camping. They were not camping at the time, decided to get out of it. And they're like, well, why don't you just buy our camper? Well, it's huge. Like, we don't need that much. It was just the two of us. But, really good deal, whatever. We didn't even have a truck that could pull it. So we bought this camper and we don't have a truck. So then, I had to go get a new truck to pull it. So we've always had a big camper. And then a couple of years ago, the squirrels, they're vicious. They actually totaled our camper.
Oh, man.
They got in there with the black walnuts. They chewed through electrical. I mean, we opened it. It smelled so bad.
Oh, my gosh.
You could hear them. My husband's like, come here. And I go out there and I look. And I'm like, what is that noise? He's like, oh, they're in the walls. I was out of that camper so fast. I'm like, no, we're done. So that got totaled.
Yeah.
So then we're in the market for a new camper now. And he wanted, ours is huge, but...
Yeah.
I'm like, do we really need anything this big? Oh, yeah, let's just go for it. So, I mean, we have the outdoor kitchen, the bunk beds, there's 3 TVs in our camper. Who needs 3 TVs? You're camping.
I will tell you with having an outdoor kitchen, I would never buy another camper unless I had an outdoor kitchen. Like,
he does all the cooking.
Mandatory.
We don't use the inside kitchen at all. I don't think in the 2.5 years we've had it, we've ever used it. And he does all the cooking because he loves the outside stuff. So bonus for me, we camp and I don't cook. So great. Yeah, it is really nice. And we keep like the kids' drinks out there and stuff. So they're not coming in the camper all the time
Yeah,
it's nice. I mean, I feel like it's unnecessary, but it's nice.
So I stopped by the other day with my wife and I noticed this bus in your driveway.
You know how we don't talk about Bruno? We don't talk about the bus. Yeah.
And then I ran into your husband the other day and I was like,
gosh, did you talk to him about the bus?
I don't think your wife's very happy about this bus. I was like, what are you going to do with it? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, he had a truck and we recently upgraded the truck. But last summer, we just had like the extended cab. So the doors like folded out in the back. So our kids were like shoved in like sardines in the back seat. I was like, we really got to do something, but trucks are really expensive and sometimes I think he does things to just see if he can. So he pitches this idea to me that he's going to buy a bus and he's going to cut it and make it shorter. I was like, no, you're not. He's like, yeah, and then we'll put a 5th wheel hitch and it can tow the camper. No. I mean, like, this is a joke at work. They make fun of me. I'm like, I know. And he couldn't find anybody to insure it. I'm like, oh, man, that's so unfortunate. Like, you couldn't find anybody. He found one person. Thank you, Bob Bluff.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, thank you. Who insured it? So then, he shortened it. And then I don't know, back in the winter, we bought a truck. So now we don't even need the camper. We've never rode in it. My kids want to so bad because it's like done. I think it needs carpet, but the seats, I mean, he bought like Sprinter seats. It seats 8 people plus the driver.
Oh my
plus
gosh.
like room for luggage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what are we going to do with it? I don't know. Maybe I'm going to sell it. I'm like, we have never even taken it anywhere. Yeah, I don't know. He's just one of those like very handy people. Like we don't pay for labor, which is great. Oh yeah, it's become a joke. Like we don't talk about the bus because he knows that. Even my daughter's friends, they're like, why do you have a bus? She's like, my dad. Like the kids love it.
Yeah.
My dad.
You should just start taking them to school in it.
That means I'd have to drive it. I can't even drive the truck. Like, yeah, give me a bus. No. I mean, it would be cool because his idea was like we could go to the beach on the weekend, like take all our friends and kind of like a party bus. I see that, but like when we go on field trips with my kids are like the sad kids that have to sit in the front because I'm so motion sick. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, a bus? I mean, I don't know. So we'll see. Maybe we'll take one trip in it before he sells it. Yeah. Oh yeah, our neighbors had some things to say about that when it showed up too.
Yeah. So what's you want to disclose any new what's in store for the future here? You got some?
I actually just bought a new piece of equipment like last week. It's so hard for me to pull the trigger on like new equipment, and it's not even that expensive. I mean, it is for a small business, and it should be here. Well, I should be ready. It's going to allow me to do hats. So like the leather patches that are popular on hats and stuff, and even just customizing hats in general. So hopefully by about July, I'll be able to do that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I finally I kept making excuses like, well, I got this big order, so I can't do that now. And it's like, just do it. So hopefully I'm going to start with hats.
A lot of your... I really like when you have like Mother's Day. You got like little like you kind of do like what I want to say.
Tell me that because I was thinking about getting out of that.
Oh, were you? Oh, she's not going to do any seasonal.
No, I mean
stuff.
I want to keep
disregard all that. So.
I want to keep that going. I really do. It started as that, and I love the custom.
But they're so cute.
But they don't sell.
Really?
No.
Oh.
You see these influencers like, and they have these shirt shops, and I'm like, but how? I might like sell two. I mean, I had for Mother's Day, I had a bunch of different things. I didn't sell anything. So it's like really defeating. You're like, dang it. But then my shirts are doing so well that I'm like, well, it's not a total flop.
Yeah.
And one thing I've had to learn is I'll see something online. I'm like, that's really cool. Like, that'd be awesome for Mother's Day. But then I spend so much time like researching and getting the vendors for that particular item. And then it doesn't take off. So I'm like, man, I just wasted like days.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
mean, it struggles as a business, but at the other end, it's a growth for the business because you learn some things, right?
Well, like I said, I don't do pillows anymore. I mean, I've done a handful, but I'm like, what were you thinking? Like, and the difficult thing, especially with going back to the holidays, people can go to Kohl's, JCPenney's, Maurice's, and they can get a Christmas shirt on clearance for $6, $7. I can't sell them for that.
Right.
So I guess that was kind of where I had to reevaluate and be like, is that going to be profitable? And it really hasn't been, sadly. But the more like for your business, the DDA shirts, I've done some stuff for the school, for the theater program that they have at the school where they need a specific design that has been more beneficial for me. So I'm kind of in this, like, where I'm torn.
Right.
Like, these shirts are really cool, and I think people like them, but are they selling? Is it worth my time? I don't know. Yeah. It's just one of those, we'll just have to see where it goes.
So, primarily, is everything, like, to order right now? I mean, you have, like, a store out there that people can go to?
I don't have I have a website. So if you go to my Facebook page, it's easiest to get there. You go to the Yellow Daisy Facebook page.
Yellow Daisy Customizations?
Yes, so I didn't think this through. And then it's like at square-site. Like, I can't even type it in. I just go find the link. I'm like, just go there. So I do have a Facebook page which has the Mother's Day designs and some sports designs and some of like funny, and has this one on there. This is one of my popular ones.
Just a small town girl. I like it.
And then it says with big dreams on the cuff, which was that was my newest. And I've just kind of gotten to the point where I'm going to make things that I like, things that I would wear. It was kind of hard because everybody has their opinion, and I have friends and family and coworkers and whatnot. Well, you should do this. You should make that. But that's not me. Like, if I look at that shirt and I'm like, I wouldn't wear that, I'm not going to put my name behind it, even if. Because I've had friends and family come to me, hey, can you make me a shirt that says, and I'll make it, and they'll pay me for it, but you'll never see it on my website because it maybe portrays a message or something that it's just not me. It's not what I want my brand to be, but I'll still make it.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I've just kind of learned I'm going to make what makes me happy and see where it goes.
Good.
So,
good. Yeah, we've been real happy. We had a couple orders from you already.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's been, I come here a lot. That's fine though.
Yeah.
That's
no,
great.
we really try and keep everything local. So it's really worked out good for us. And we have other relationships with other companies too. So Has it been an issue getting material anymore? Like, I'm sure like during COVID, it was probably some shortages and.
I wasn't really ramped up like I am now during COVID, so I can't speak to that. I know that some of the shirt, so there's a bunch of different processes. A lot of people do screen printing, although I kind of feel like screen printing's maybe making its way out a little bit. I don't know. I could be wrong. But there's some other processes, and you have to have a specific material shirt for that. And the reason that I didn't want to go into anything like that is because they're hard to find. Because there's only a few of them out there. There's a ton of crafters. I mean, I see them popping up every day. People are like, oh, this is easy. I just like put this design on this shirt and I press it and we're good.
Yeah.
But the trick is I've tried a lot of different vendors, and it's just finding those vendors. The one vendor that I use, she's amazing. She's not local because I haven't been able to find anybody from Michigan that isn't like a big business. I kind of like to keep it small, but she has a farm and she's got goats and she just like does this out of her house. And it's finding those vendors. They tweak their process just a little bit to make it different. So no, I haven't really had issues with finding materials.
Well, bring those other shirts by and I'll...
I will. I'll take them out.
So, well, thanks for coming in today. Anything else you want to talk about today in this wonderful...
Nope, just go check it out on Facebook. I have Facebook and Instagram, more on Facebook. So Yellow Daisy Customizations.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.